Assalamu alaikum. Dear student, you are welcome to my online class. I hope that you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Uh, this is M. Shahid Rahman, Assistant Teacher, Shahid Ziaur Rahman High School. Today's class, class 9-10, English second paper. Dear student, follow this picture. The first picture we can see an elephant, and this is a little elephant, a small elephant, and we can say also this is an large elephant. And next picture, the elephant is larger than the previous picture. Dear student, we can see, or you can see, the third picture of the elephant is the largest of the three pictures. Dear student, what do the pictures show in this slide? Dear student, we can see in this picture some beautiful scenery of our natural scene of Bangladesh. The first picture, we can say it is a beautiful scenery, and the second, it is more beautiful than the first scenery. And among these three scenery, the third scenery is the most beautiful of all sceneries. Dear student, follow this example. Here, beautiful, more beautiful, and most beautiful. This is the types of adjective. So what are we going to discuss today, dear student? Yes, today I am going to discuss about the degrees of adjective. Degrees of comparison, Unit 6, Lesson 1. Dear student, learning outcomes. After completing this lesson, we will be able to tell the definition of degree. You will be able to identify various forms of degree, apply the forms of degree in different categories. Dear student, you can see a football. This is very amusing. The first picture of the football is small, and the next is bigger than the first picture, and the third picture is the biggest of all the three pictures. So dear student, this is a big ball. We can say that about the first picture, that this is a big ball, and the next picture number 2, this ball is bigger than the yellow ball. And the third picture, the golden ball is the biggest of all balls. Dear student, follow this example. Here, big is adjective, and the comparative form of the word big is bigger, and the superlative form of this word is biggest. So, what is degrees of comparison, dear student? What is degrees of comparison? Dear student, degrees of comparison means to compare with one, two, or more persons, places, and things in three forms of adjectives. There are three forms of adjectives. What are these? These are positive form, comparative form, and superlative form. The positive form is the basic form of adjective, and the comparative form is compared with other, and the superlative form compared with highest form of adjective. I hope, my dear student, you have already understood my lecture. Now also follow this picture. Zishan is a tall boy. One of my students told that Zishan is a tall boy. So this is positive degree, and the structure is subject plus verb plus a or an plus adjective plus extension. Dear student, here Zishan is subject, each here is verb, a or an plus tall is adjective, and the extension word is boy. So the positive degree of an adjective is used to describe a single thing or person. It simply describes the existence of equality. I hope all the students have already understood my lecture. Again, dear student, follow my lecture. The positive degree of an adjective is used to describe a single thing or person. It simply describes the existence of equality. Positive degree doesn't refer to any compare. It just talks about a person or thing. It is the base form of adjective. It describes a single person or thing. Dear student, make 5 different sentences with the following adjectives. Here, nice, charming, attractive, interesting, excellent, and awesome. Dear student, first one is done for you. This is a nice picture. In this way, you may make one or more sentences by using the following adjective: nice, charming, attractive, interesting, excellent, and awesome. I hope all the students try to do this at home on your exercise. Okay, my dear student. Now, I am going to discuss about comparativity. Dear student, Talib is taller than Zishan. Here, this is a few minutes ago I told that Zishan is a tall boy, but here I say that Talib is taller than Zishan. Dear student, here Talib is taller than Zishan. Here taller is the comparative degree, and the structure is subject plus verb plus comparative. Here comparative means the ends of the words adjective add with ear, more, less, etc. form of adjective plus than plus extension. Again I say subject plus verb plus comparative form of adjective plus than plus extension. Dear student, so the comparative degree is used to compare two or more things or persons. Here you have already followed that my first sentence was Zishan is a tall boy, and the second sentence is Talib is taller than Zishan. So you have already followed that we have compared Zishan with Talib, or we have compared Talib with Zishan. So Dear student, follow the example again. Talib is taller than Zishan. We have here compared Talib with Zishan. So the comparative degree is used to compare two or more things or persons. It simply describes the higher or lower quality. Comparative degree is formed adding with an adjective or more, less before an adjective. When it is pronounced at least three times break. Again, my dear student, comparative degree is formed adding er with an adjective or more or less before an adjective. When it is pronounced at least three times break. I hope, dear student, you have already understood my talks. Now, my dear student, there is a chart about comparative degree. How can we form comparative degree? Now, follow the chart. How comparative degree is formed? The words adjective here is small, and the comparative form of the word is small is smaller. So, my dear student, you have already seen that we have used or we have add er with the word small. So, here small will be the comparative form is smaller, deep will be deeper, heavy will be heavier, short will be shorter, intelligent may be more intelligent, interesting and more interesting. So, my dear student, you have already seen the chart very carefully. Now, follow. If the adjective ends with e, you have to add only r. Okay, my dear student? If the adjective ends with e, you have to add only r. If the adjective ends with y, with a constant before it, y will be turned into I. Then you have to write IER. Okay, my dear student? The adjective that ends with full does not take ER while changing into comparative form. More or less is then used before the word. Okay, my dear student? Again, I have ordered this sentence. If the adjective ends with E, you have to add only R. If the adjective ends with Y, with a constant before it, you will be turned into, Y with a consonant before it, you will be turned into I. Then you have to write IER. The adjective that ends with full does not take ER while changing into comparative. More or less is then used before the word. Okay, my dear student, again I have ordered the sentence. If the adjective ends with E, you have to add only R. If the adjective ends with Y with a consonant before it, you will be turned into I. Then you have to write IER. The adjective that ends with full does not take ER while changing into comparative. So, more or less is then used before the word. Okay, my dear student? Dear student, again follow this picture and make three comparative sentences with the following adjectives. One is with a negative. Dear student, fast or slow? Dear student, again see this picture scenery and make a comparative sentence with the attractive with the pictures above. The first sight is more attractive than the second sight. You can also say, if you think that the second sight is more attractive than the first one or first sight. Dear student, again see these videos Fill in the blank with the adjective in bracket. Then fill in the blank with the adjective in bracket. Dear student, the cat is dash than any other cat. What will be the answer of this gap? I think you may do this on your khata, and the correction is the cat is maybe funnier than any other cat. Dear student, now change the sentences into comparative degree on your exercise book. Follow this example. The bird cannot fly as fast as the plane. Here you can see that a bird is flying as well as the plane is also flying. Now you shall have to change into comparative degree with this sentence. Next sentence, the crow is as clever as the fox. And the third one is, the tiger is not as small as the cat. You must have to do it on your khata, and you will practice it at home. Okay, my dear student? Now, I am going to discuss about superlative degree. Dear student, follow this example. Rifat is the tallest of all boys. In my before speaking, I have already told you that Zishan is a tall boy, and the next sentence, the comparative form, Zishan was not so tall as the other boy, and this sentence, Rifat is the tallest of all boys. So you can already understood that the structure of the superlative degree is subject plus verb plus the plus superlative form of adjective and extension. Dear student, you must have used the before the superlative form of adjective. Again, follow the example. Rifat is the tallest of all boys. Dear student, here the is must be used before the word of superlative form. The superlative degree refers to the highest quality of things or person. Dear student, the superlative degree refers to the highest quality of things or person. Here again, follow the example. Rifat is the tallest of all boys. Rifat is the tallest of all boys. Superlative degree is formed adding with est with an adjective or most or less before an adjective. If we used est after the word of adjective and we used most or less before the word of adjective when we use superlative form of a sentence. Okay, my dear student. So superlative degree is formed adding est with an adjective or most or less before an adjective when it is pronounced at least 3 times daily. Okay, my dear student. Now, how superlative degree is formed? Dear students, follow this example. In my before lecture, I told you that small, the word is small, the comparative form of the word is small was smaller. But now, small will be smallest when we use the word as superlative form. And the next, deep, deepest, heavy, heaviest, short, shortest, intelligent, most intelligent, interesting, most interesting. Now, my dear student, if the adjective ends with e, you have to add only st. If the adjective ends with im with a consonant before it, you will be turned into I, then you have to write iest. Dear student, again follow the example, small, smallest. Here, small will be sense smallest. Heavy, here, again follow the word heavy, heaviest. Why? Omitted IEST. Okay, my dear student? And the adjective that ends with full does not take est, then you have used most or less before the word. Okay, my dear student, the adjective that ends with full does not take est while changing into superlative. Most or less is then used before the word. Now, exception. There are some adjectives which do not follow any rule, and for this they are called irregular adjective. Dear student, there are more words that does not take any rules of forming comparative degree or superlative degree. These are called irregular adjectives, such as, follow my dear student, good, better, best. Do you think that this word do not take any rules? And the next are bad or evil or ill. The complete form worst, late, later, latest, many, more, most, mass, the comparative form more and the superlative form most, old, older, oldest, for, former, foremost. Now make sentence with the pictures applying the adjectives in superlative degree. My dear student, you shall have to make sentence with this picture. The first picture we have used here, the adjective word is high, and the next is precious, and the third one is useful. You can say Eiffel Tower is a high building in the world. You may make make a sentence with this word. Eiffel Tower is the most highest building in the world. And the next, gold is the most precious, and the cow is the more useful animal. Okay, my dear student. Change the sentences into superlative degree. The Padma is a wide river. The rose is better than any other flower. The elephant is bigger than all other animals. He is a wise man in our locality. It is an excellent idea. Dear student, so no more today. I hope you stay at home with maintaining the rules of health, and Allah may bless you. Thank you very much.